It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Welcoming you back to our program for another new week ahead. I'm Tyler Kieft, alongside, as always, Kevin McIntosh. Kevin, thanks for being with us again, and an exciting week ahead here in Greater West Bloomfield.
Absolutely, Tyler, man. Another day, another opportunity. Feeling good, feeling great, man. I'm excited to talk about a lot of stuff that happened over the weekend, man. Some strange stuff, too, Tyler. What's going on?
Yeah, we had Friday off because of the Michigan Week Awards. We'll get to that in a little bit, but that wasn't even the biggest story of the weekend here in Greater West Bloomfield. A rare opportunity for people across the great state of Michigan, including in our local area, to experience the Aurora Borealis, otherwise known as the Northern Lights. Some solar storms caused the Northern Lights to be visible throughout much of the Northern Hemisphere. Here's some pictures from out at the Sylvan Lake Community Center by David Emmerling from Keego Harbor. Took these over the weekend as you saw some of the Northern Lights over the city of Sylvan Lake. Now, in places around our area, Kevin, maybe it's not as bright and as visible as it is in other places because there's so much light, there's so many people out and about. Here's another picture. Melanie Haas in West Bloomfield. A little bit better lighting there, a little bit better lighting there, and a lot of the purple hues from the Aurora Borealis over West Bloomfield Township. We thank her for those pictures as well, posted on Facebook over the weekend. And even from our own team, Dave Scott had some pictures posted as well. He was up north and experienced the Northern Lights. He texted me these photos late last night as he was making his way back down to the Metro Detroit area and into the Greater West Bloomfield area for a busy week ahead. Look at these pictures, Kevin. Off in the distance, that's at sunset up north with the Northern Lights. Couldn't get any better than that. Beautiful images like that from across the state of Michigan. Now, here's where it gets sad. I missed it. I knew it was happening. I set my alarms for it, and every single time I set my alarms for it, Kevin, when I'm asleep, I don't wake up. There's got to be an extremely loud noise, a lot of shaking me around. Something's got to go on to wake me up. So I slept through those alarms, but I want to know, did you see the Northern Lights this weekend?
I got a small glimpse of it. It wasn't the greatest view where I was either at the time. A lot of lights around, but I just looked through everyone else's perspective. Essentially on social media, people were posting it, and some people got some really good angles. Let me tell you, but it's nice because that's something that you don't usually see here in the States. You usually have to be in Canada for that, for the most part that I know. So let me tell you something. A red flag is that solar storm, first and foremost. That's what I was worried about a little bit more than the Northern Lights, but still a beautiful view, Tyler. Oh, my goodness, bro.
Yeah, for all the scary stuff that was predicted, the possibility of some interruptions to internet or radio or that kind of stuff. Not a lot of that happening. I heard a little bit of radio fuzziness here and there listening to the Tigers game. But the good things happened. The Aurora Borealis, a lot of people getting a once-in-a-lifetime view. Even David Emmerling posted some of those pictures from Sylvan Lake, said in his post he got to check something off of his bucket list that he wanted to go travel to see, got to stay home and see it right here in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Great stories from a once-in-a-lifetime event that happened over the weekend across the state of Michigan. Also, once-in-a-lifetime chance to get a recognition for hard work you're doing across your community to make our Greater West Bloomfield communities as special as they are. We celebrated our volunteers on Friday last week at the Michigan Week Community Awards breakfast, Kevin, and it was a really great opportunity to learn more about our local volunteers, get to know some people, and get the inside story. So not only were we out there for the full live event, we also sent our reporter Jake Schaff on the scene for even more insight from the volunteers, from the awardees themselves, about what makes their work so special to them. Here's the story.
We all know that there is a lot of work that goes into making the four communities a safe and productive space for everyone. And this past Friday, the 52nd annual Michigan Week Awards ceremony took place right here at Temple Israel, handing out awards and honors to those who put in the work every single day to make these four communities as great as they are.
It was a great event. I think we all enjoyed the celebration of so many talented young individuals and then also many people that have been of service in the community for many years. This is the third year that I've had the opportunity to be a part of this. Last year we celebrated our chief medical officer, and that was a special occasion. This year we celebrated many individuals that are special and important to others. So today was just a beautiful day, and hopefully everyone enjoyed the time.
Congratulations on the award. That's a huge honor. How are you feeling right now?
Very humbled. There's a lot of people in the room today who have served this community really well, and to be singled out like that is, well, it's really kind, but it feels a little, I don't know, very humbling. I feel like it's kind of an award you give to somebody sort of at the end of their service, and I don't intend to stop volunteering in the community, so it's just inspiring. There's so many important, generous people who serve their community, and I'm just one of them.
The work that we do is we do it because we love what we do, and we are here to serve the community. And so when we have the opportunity to be in the spotlight, it's really neat for staff to see the recognition and know that they're loved and the work that they do is very valued and important to the West Bloomfield community. And our staff is so amazing, so dedicated, very talented, and we're always thinking outside the box. So the two awards that we were recognized today, it really, again, from the bottom of our hearts, we're so grateful because we come to work to do our jobs, but it's much more than that. We want to make sure that the residents know that we hear them, that we want to put things into action.
How do you hope things will get even bigger for the next year?
Well, hopefully people will continue to nominate members of the community, students, dignitaries. It's just really exciting to see this program grow, and to be in the 52nd year is huge. So just looking forward to doing more of this next year and seeing the programs grow and more nominations to come.
On behalf of everyone here at Civic Center TV, a big congratulations to all of the Michigan Week honorees. Thank you for all of the work that you do and will continue to do in the future. Here's to 2025. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
Appreciate the report, Jake, and even more so appreciate the volunteers in our community that make something like Michigan Week happen. And Kevin, it's a really unique day because it's a rare opportunity for us to bring all four of the communities together, and not only bring our four communities together, but bring a group of people from different areas, from throughout a localized area, all into a space where they agree on everything that's happening there. They're all happy to be there. There's so much joy and happiness and positivity in that room. It's a rarity that you don't get a lot nowadays, and we have a chance to do that every single year. It was a very special day out of Temple, Israel.
Man, it was very special. I was so happy to be a part of it myself for the first time. Also, Tyler, and you heard it from some of the people, the recipients themselves. They were saying how nice it is to be honored and recognized amongst your peers in the community, amongst people who are also putting in the work. And then it's also nice because some of them are saying, "Hey, you usually get this type of appreciation after your work is done, but the work is never done. I'm going to continuously work." And that just talks about the character of some of the residents here in the community. So well deserved. It was great to see everybody in the community up in person. So it was a great event, Tyler. I was happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, one of my favorite moments was Mary Hilbury, from a longtime principal at Lone Pine Elementary School, got to embrace Noah Arbit, our state representative, who was one of her students at Lone Pine when she was principal. And actually, Noah and I went to Lone Pine together, so it's a special moment for me as well, getting to put that on the camera. Didn't get a chance to catch up with her or say hi to her after, just in the busyness of what we were doing out there. But a huge congratulations to her also on the award, and of course, her retirement from the Bloomfield Hills School District. If you want to see the full festivities, you weren't able to get out there on Friday, haven't had a chance to watch, it is available on demand on CivicCenterTV.com, as well as on our YouTube page at Civic Center TV, and you can see it replaying right here on our cable channels all throughout the day, 3:30 p.m. and 6 p.m. this evening, for those that maybe want to take some time after their busy Monday and bring some positive energy back into their lives by celebrating our volunteers. That's all on CivicCenterTV.com. Another note, in Keagle Harbor, police are on the lookout for someone that had an accident on the road earlier on this month and may have left the scene a little bit damaged. This happened on May 2nd. An unknown driver, you'll see at the top of your screen on civiccentertv.com, struck a light pole near the corner of Beachland and Cass Lake Road in front of the Buscemi's store in the city of Keego Harbor. The vehicle was most likely a Volkswagen sedan. That's what they're looking for at this time, and would have significant front end damage. So if you know someone that has a vehicle that fits that description, if perhaps you've seen that vehicle around town in the 11 days and counting since this incident that happened late overnight, looks like it was 4:25 a.m. on May 2nd. The car went onto the curb, onto the sidewalk, destroyed the light pole, and kept going. The Keego Harbor Police Department are on the lookout for that vehicle as we speak. Kevin, if people have any information, they should contact the Keego Harbor Police Department and get in contact with Detective Barnes. A couple ways they can do that. They can call the Keego Harbor Police Department at 248-682-3030. Again, that's 248-682-3030. 3030, or send an email to barnes@khpd.org. Again, all this information is available also on the Keego Harbor Police Department's Facebook page at Keego Police. Kevin, hopefully they're able to find this individual and at least figure out what happened on that night. A number of different circumstances that can lead to that. Of course, it's a scary situation for the drivers and for anyone else in the area, and they just want to get the answers to this. And if something did happen that caused this accident, hopefully that person is also okay that was involved in it.
Yeah, it was kind of cringy to watch, to be honest, Tyler. If you're watching with us or listening on 89.3 Lakes FM, check it out on civiccentertv.com. But it 4 a.m, so it could be any type of anything, influence involved or distractions. A lot of people, you'd be surprised, are texting a lot, and because there's probably nobody on the road, you probably think you're not going to hit anything. And then you look up and you hit a light pole. So please just admit that it was you. It was a mistake. I'm pretty sure we'll all come to some type of resolution, but scary situation. I hope no one was hurt, and I'm glad no one was hurt that we saw in the video.
Again, more information on how you can get in contact with the Keego Harbor Police Department. You can watch the video again if you'd like to see it at Facebook at Keego Police. In Sylvan Lake, on a more positive note, some growth happening, some new neighbors in the community, Kevin, in the form of trees planted over the weekend as part of a volunteer organization from Relief, Michigan at the organizational level, and locally organized by Barbara Ash. People volunteered across the city to plant trees at a variety of locations across Sylvan Lake to help improve the local ecology and build for the future. These trees will provide, of course, a lot of shade during the summer season, which is much needed and will be even more needed as we get into the warmer parts of the spring and the summer. Here are some of the people digging the trenches to put the trees in. They put live trees that are somewhat matured into the ground so that they will the growth time will be a little bit quicker. Some in front of homes and in the right of ways on the roads, and others in more conspicuous spots across the city. Plenty of volunteers, including the kids, getting involved, and even more pictures can be found on Facebook about this event. If you want to learn more about events happening in Sylvan Lake, visit sylvanlake.org, or you can learn more about Relief Michigan and their efforts at reliefmichigan.org as well. Really cool stuff in Sylvan, Kevin.
No, that is pretty nice. Like we talked about earlier in the week about that. You get to forever drive past that tree in the community and know that you planted that tree. It'll be there for years to come. And then, it's just something about a sense of taking pride and ownership in building something, especially in the community that you want it to last and take care of. So I think it's good that residents help build things in the community because you want to take care of it and make sure no one, make sure it's always protected. So I love the effort in general from the event.
Yeah, everybody loves something that helps the community for years to come. We all love our trees and our local plant life in the Greater West Bloomfield area. So good to see some efforts being made to improve that for years to come. We won't see the results right away, but 5, 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, those trees are going to be very welcome in the prettiest little city in the state of Michigan. Kevin, we're all music fans here at the Splash Live and at Civic Center TV, and sometimes that passion for our favorite artists helps us inspire to go see their concerts, not only in our local area, but sometimes all across the country and around the globe. One West Bloomfield resident has that love for the Rolling Stones, having seen them over 30 times, including last week in Las Vegas. Joining us now on the program is Larry Lieb, a big Rolling Stones fan, perhaps the biggest Rolling Stones fan in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Larry, thank you for being with us today.
Good morning, guys. How are you? I'm actually fresh off an airplane. Took the red eye back from Las Vegas last night.
So,
Got in about 6:30 this morning.
Well, welcome back. We'll try to make this quick so you can get some sleep after an exciting night seeing the Rolling Stones. There's the shirt from the 2024 tour that they've been on. You saw them in Las Vegas. And Larry, tell us first about the concert. What was the concert like seeing it out there?
It was terrific. I mean, the guys are ageless. Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, Ronnie Wood, and then the guys that have joined the band. And it's hard to believe some of these guys have been new to the band, and it's been 30 years. But, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards still know how to do it after now 60 plus years.
And in terms of the show, and you've seen them over 30 times, you've seen them over the years. How did this concert compare to maybe the times you've seen them in the past several years, or certainly over the decades?
Well, I will tell you, for an 80-year-old, Mick Jagger still can move pretty well. I have heard that he runs approximately 2.5 miles during every concert, and certainly this one was the same. The band performed for over 2 hours. They came on just about 9:15 and were done by 11:20, 11:25 Las Vegas time Saturday night. It was a sold-out crowd at the Allegiant Stadium where the LA Raiders play, and we had great seats, and the sound was just absolutely terrific. So it was a wonderful opportunity to see them. Fortunately, I'm going to see them again here in about a month in Philadelphia. But, how many times are you going to be able to see living legends? And this time it was special because I took my son with me, who has never seen them live. He's heard them over the years, but had never seen them live. So it was a great opportunity for him, not only to go to Las Vegas, but also to see the living legends on stage.
Yeah, Greater West Bloomfield's biggest Rolling Stones fan is with us on the Splash Live. Just saw them over the weekend, and Larry, I know you've seen them over 30 times. What's the exact count at as we speak?
This was my 35th time.
Wow, 35 times seeing them. So what keeps you going back?
I was trying to figure out which shirt I should wear for the concert. Here's one from the 1999 tour.
Wow.
This one was from the late 80s. This one was from 2019. I let my son wear this one, but I've got a good collection. It's been so much fun over the years. It all started when my grandmother, of all people, in 1977 bought me the cassette tape. Most of the viewers probably don't remember cassette tapes, but she bought me a cassette tape called Hot Rocks. Played it over and over again, and just have loved them ever since.
So what keeps you coming back to see them? Because it's a lot of the same songs. It's all the same people. These concerts, they're different experiences every time, but 35 times seeing the same band over the years, that's a lot for anybody. What keeps you coming back for 36 and 37 and beyond?
Well, I think part of it is the music. The songs are timeless, and whether it's Start Me Up, which came out in the early 1980s, it was released on the Tattoo You album in 1981, or Satisfaction, which the song's been around since the mid 60s. I think they performed it on the Ed Sullivan Show in 1967. So, or the new songs that just came out here in the last couple months. They just released a brand new album called Hack Me Diamonds, which was the motive for this tour. And, the amazing thing about the band is that no matter when you see them, their music seems to run together. And doesn't matter if it was a song from the early 70s off the Some Girls album or Hack Me Diamonds, they pretty much sound like the Rolling Stones. It's a unique sound, and every concert has been a different experience. whether it's just watching the band or the people that I've been with, and it's a wonderful experience to see them.
Larry
And
Liebes with us. He is.
you're watching history right in front of you. These guys are in their 80s. How many more concerts could they possibly do?
Yeah, and I was actually talking about this with my family recently. Recently, as we were talking about some of their favorite bands and how much time do they have left, and then talking about the Rolling Stones, and they're still out there. They're in their mid to late 80s, looking better than ever, continuing to sound just as good as they did years ago. And so, Larry, for you to bring in your son, we have a picture of you and your son at the concert from over this past weekend. Now, what is it like for you then to now bring this next generation of your family and their love of the Rolling Stones into play?
It was really special. Like I said, he's heard the music over the years, but never had an opportunity to see them in person. Uh, Usually it's a special event to go see them anyway, and I finally felt like he was old enough to appreciate the music and would really have a great time. Plus, it was an opportunity to take him to Las Vegas and give him the opportunity to experience everything that Las Vegas offers, it's just an incredible place to watch a concert.
So everybody has their favorite band. They have their favorite songs from their favorite bands. But I would imagine that's different when you're seeing them live versus listening to their albums. So for you, in terms of the Rolling Stones, what are some of their favorite songs overall, in your opinion? What are some of your favorite songs of theirs overall? And what are your favorite songs to see them perform live?
So I've often thought about this over the years, and I probably would say the song Gimme Shelter may be the best rock and roll song ever written. It's written in various stages, and there's a female solo that is performed in the middle of the song. And it's been performed by a lot of well-known female entertainers over the years, from Lady Gaga to Lisa to a woman who's now just joined the band in the last couple of years, but she completely rocked it and brought the house to their feet. It was amazing. There's so many songs that Miss You is a great song. Street Fighting Man is a great song. There's a new song out that just came out on the new album that I think is going to be a big hit for them called Angry. Don't Get Angry With Me. There's a video out, and I would encourage you to watch it. It's a pretty good retro of the Rolling Stones over the years, and the song was written about the different personalities in the band. So pretty neat.
So you've been to 35 concerts. Larry Lieb is with us. He's been to 35 Rolling Stones concerts over the years, the most recent being just over the past couple recent times here in early May in Las Vegas, and going to be seeing them again coming up soon as well. For people that maybe are going to their first Rolling Stones concerts, or they've just discovered this great music and they're becoming a fan of the Rolling Stones, maybe they're going to a concert here in Detroit or in nearby areas in the coming weeks or months on this tour. What's your number one piece of advice to them for them to make the most out of the opportunity to see the Rolling Stones?
Well, if the first thing I would think that they would want to do is to download off of iTunes or whatever music source you have, I would download a greatest hits album and I would listen to it in its entirety. There's so many songs that have made up their repertoire. I would want to think you would want to listen to some of the great ones first. Most of their concerts are a rendition of their greatest hits, along with 2 or 3, newer songs that are picked. They actually have a fan vote on the Rolling Stones website that they encourage fans to go out and vote for a song. And at this particular concert, it was a song that had been written in the mid 60s, Dead Flowers, which was not a part of their normal repertoire, but it was a song that a lot of fans decided that they wanted to hear, and so the band played it. So pretty neat. If you're going to go to your first concert, download the Greatest Hits album and listen to most of the songs on there, and you'll get a flavor for what you're going to see.
So Larry, give us just one more time, the next time you're going to go see the Rolling Stones and what you're hoping to see happen at that concert.
Well, it's pretty unique because Philadelphia has always been a spot where the Stones have performed over the years. Mick Jagger has a relationship with the city of Philadelphia and has always put on really good shows there. I saw one there about 20 years ago during the Live Licks tour, and back then it was Veterans Stadium. Now I think it's Lincoln Financial, but I
Yeah.
could be wrong. I think it's a Lincoln Financial
It is.
Stadium where the Philadelphia Eagles play. It should be a great concert. A little bit different sound outside, so it's a little clearer, a little better. But overall, doesn't matter where you see them. It's great.
Yeah, always put on a great show, and that's no more evident by one of our own local residents, Larry Lieb, here from the Greater West Bloomfield area, who has seen the Rolling Stones now 35 times, and in the coming weeks will make that 36 when he sees them in Philadelphia. Larry, thank you so much for coming on this morning.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy your day.
Yeah, glad to have you on, and hopefully you'll enjoy that concert coming up here in just a little while in Philadelphia. And plenty more Rolling Stones concerts to come in Greater West Bloomfield. As we mentioned earlier on, we spent much of last week celebrating our volunteers in the Greater West Bloomfield area, and no more importantly than on Friday, May 10th, when we celebrated the Michigan Week Community Awards Breakfast. One of the most notable awardees from that was Christina Elson, who not only won an award as an individual, but also accepted an award for her group of volunteerism, the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation. She joins us now on the Splash Live to talk about that in even more detail. Christina, first, congratulations on your awards at the Michigan Week Awards this year, and thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you, gentlemen, and I appreciate that. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're glad to have you on to talk about this because volunteerism is something that's special and unique to different people for a number of different reasons. Maybe they just want to get involved. Maybe they found an issue that's important to them, that they want to be helpful towards in our community, or it's just something that they're passionate about and they want to find something to use their time in a way that's beneficial to our community. For you, when did your love of service begin?
You know, I always have people ask me that, and somebody sent me a message yesterday saying, I thought you had a clone back when your kids were little because you were everywhere. My parents were immigrants, so when they came over from the Philippines, it was all about establishing yourself. It was about getting a house, getting a job, getting a car. And once you established yourself, then it was about bringing the rest of your family members over. So eventually, after my aunts and uncles were here, then it was about bringing other immigrants over to do the same thing, get a job, get a house, be a legit citizen. So it kind of started back then because my parents were always doing that as my brother and I were growing up. And I always saw them giving back. And so it probably started when very young, it was kind of instilled in us. And once my parents stopped doing that, they got more involved in the Filipino community with organizations, with helping out, with setting fundraisers, raising money for medical missions that they would go back to the Philippines for, to bring medicine, supplies, vaccinations, so that they could do services such as that. That's really hard to get in their country if you don't have money. So I guess I got a lot of it from my parents because that's all I saw growing up.
And in our local area, a lot of your volunteerism can be centered around the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation and the West Bloomfield School District. You are a former member of the West Bloomfield School District Board of Education, so you've kind of got a unique perspective, too, when it comes to this, having been on the board level, making decisions behind the scenes on behalf of the school district as a whole, but also doing that work behind the scenes that puts a lot of these practices into play and helps the kids directly through the Educational Foundation. How did you first get involved with the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation?
Well, with both, I will attribute it to two people, Dr. Paul Lipson, former principal at Roosevelt, who's now retired, and Kathy Chico, who we all know Kathy. Dr. Lipson was the one when I was really young and my kids were really young. And I just started volunteering at Roosevelt for numerous different things, PTO, helping teachers in the classroom. He's like, I think you would be great on the school board. And then getting involved in Blessings in the Backpack and the Educational Foundation. Kathy Shiko, like when I grew up, I want to be her. And so she's always been very inspiring to me. And because of what I saw growing up, it was a way I gave back to my community. I never wanted to, when you're in the schools, there's always a bus stop talk and there's always things that can lead to negative conversation. But I never wanted to be that person. I wanted to be the person who said, well, I see a problem. I should have, I would have, I could have. But if I didn't, then I was part of the problem. If I did, then I could help solve the problem. So those are probably two of the people I would probably attribute a lot of my involvement in the school district and the community to. Of course, there have been multiple people throughout the many years that have also helped influence, me getting involved in the community. I just think it's really important because, again, to complain is one thing, but to complain and do something about it or try to is a whole nother. I just don't ever want to be part of the complaints. I want to be part of the solution to the problem.
Joining us is Christina Ellison from the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation, one of the many recipients of Michigan Week Community Awards this year from the committee, and also accepted a Gretschko Youth Advocate Award on behalf of the entire group at the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation as well. And let's talk about that too, because that's a big award. It's an award that they keep very hush-hush at the committee throughout the year, and it is essentially revealed on the day of this event. And this year, they awarded as always to both a group and an individual. And both the group and the individual were involved or are involved with the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation. The group went to the WBEF, and the individual, in Christy Forehand, was also awarded for her work with the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation alongside you and so many other volunteers. So for those that aren't familiar with the work that this organization does, why is the WBEF so important in our community, particularly for our kids?
Oh my gosh, it's such a wonderful organization. And I have to give huge shout out to our organization because we're like a little group, but a big powerhouse is what I'll say about the Educational Foundation board. Educational Foundation raises money through a single event that we do once a year called the Casino Night. And what we do is we raise money through donations, through basket auctions, through 50/50 raffle. But what we do is we raise money. The state of Michigan will allow teachers and staff to write or to request different educational tools that are that the teachers use in the classroom. What's so unique about the Educational Foundation is we then take the money raised from Casino Night and we allow teachers to write for specific grants for something that's really out of the box, something they might not get from Michigan state funding. And so it really allows the teachers to really think outside of the box, think really broad. What can they use in their classroom that really would help enhance students' learning and education? And we've seen things from hydroponic gardens to robotics to books that are unique, books that focus on diversity, on cultural holidays, religions. It's just such a great thing because all students benefit from the funds that we raise. And so we know we're touching every student in the district in some way possible.
We're joined by Christina Ellison, chairperson of the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation and an awardee for a recipient of multiple awards at this year's Michigan Week Community Awards Breakfast, as we reflect on her volunteerism and on volunteerism in general. And so, Christina, so many people want to get involved in their community, but they don't know where to start. They don't know how they can best serve. They look at so many different things that are of need in the community and that are being addressed in the community and think that, so many other people are doing the work already. How much can I truly be helpful? So for those that are in a position like that, what advice do you have for them to get involved, that they really want to start volunteering and helping out our community?
There's so much you can do within the communities, whether it's West Bloomfield, Kego, Sylvan, Orchard Lake. You find what works best for you. Mine is really about children and how they can benefit. But you can work. There's different groups within Parks and Rec. There's different groups within Rotary. There's different groups that you can really get involved in. The youth assistance group is another fantastic group that I used to do back in the day. Blessings in the Backpack, contact Kathy Chico. She's still very heavily involved in that. That helps give food to kids who are, maybe of a lower income who qualify, and it gives them food on the weekends so that they're not hungry on the weekends and they come back to school on Monday and they're refreshed and ready to go. So there's so many things out there that you can get involved in. What I would suggest is find what you're passionate about. Find what really, as our teachers say in the district, fills your bucket and makes you happy and fills your heart, because that's what you're going to be the most effective at if you find a group such as, something that will make you feel whole.
If you want to get involved and you want to get involved with the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation, a couple of ways you can learn more information. You can go to their website at wbef.org or visit them on Facebook at West Bloomfield Ed Foundation for even more information. Christina, before we let you go, is there anything else that you'd like to say about the Michigan Week experience for you, about volunteerism in our community, or anything else about the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation today?
If you are involved, and I apologize, I forgot to give WBEF a plug. If you'd like to join, we are always looking for board members. We are highly involved in the community. It's also a great way to be involved in the district. But again, so many organizations. Find what you're passionate about. Find what really works for you. And I can't tell you, being involved in your community, with your kids, with your community, there's nothing better than making a difference and making it better for all.
More information on the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation can be found on WBEF.org or on their Facebook page at West Bloomfield Ed Foundation. You can also watch the entirety of the Michigan Week Community Awards Breakfast, their 52nd annual ceremony, on demand right now on CivicCenterTV.com. Christina, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate having you on. Appreciate all of our volunteers, Kevin, in our community. They play such an important role in helping us function each and every day and keeping our community driven forward. As Christina said, there's so many different areas people can get involved in. There's so many different groups people get involved in, and not only from the group level, but also individually. So many different ways that people are able to make an impact on individuals in our communities and beyond through their volunteerism.
Great interview, great discussion, Tyler. Like I said, I was just impressed and happy just to be in that atmosphere and environment. But I feel like Christina, just from listening to her in this conversation, she embodies that character that we like in our volunteers, and just being able to give back and, not only making sure your cup is full, but making sure you are also helping others. See, she has that mindset from her family, and she's passing that through the community. I love it. I honor it. And great information. Great interview, Tyler.
Yeah, well, appreciate that from you, Kevin, and appreciate even more all the work that our volunteers are doing in our community. Again, if you didn't have a chance to join us on Friday at Temple Israel or on our live broadcast, you can view that now on demand on CivicCenterTV.com. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Plenty more information, news, and special stories to get to. Stay with us, The Splash Live. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from West Bloomfield, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Good nutrition can help make sure you have enough iron, calcium, and vitamin C in your body, which can make it harder for lead to enter your bloodstream. Help protect your family from the harmful effects of lead.
Live, local, and social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Join our team as we highlight people and events that are making an impact in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Catch us live Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Watch us on demand at CivicCenterTV.com. Or watch us on TV at Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T at Channel 99.
One scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
When the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
I'm relying on luck.
but who knows if it'll be on my side.
When it comes to disasters and emergencies, it's not a matter of if, but when. Take control. 1. Assess your needs. 2. Make a plan. 3. Engage your support network. Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Kevin McIntosh. Kevin, the weather is getting much better. It's nice and sunny outside over the past few weeks. We've had a lot of warm days, and so people are getting back out and about with some of their favorite summer activities. I want to ask you, Kevin, what are some of the things that you enjoy most about this time of the year when you're out and about with friends and family?
You know what's crazy? I have actually been consistently on the barbecue grill the last few weeks. Anytime, even if it's not sunshine, just clouds, no rain, I have been barbecuing. I'm trying to get better at barbecuing, just learning how to do it and perfect it. So at least 2 or 3 times a week, I hit the grill.
And that's a good thing. That's a thing that a lot of people will do across our communities, have already started in our communities. But with that, they got to be aware of some safety hazards that come along with bringing that grill back out, getting the food back on the barbecue, and starting one of the staples of summer here in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Joining us to talk about some of these different hazards and some safety tips for your spring and summer is West Bloomfield Fire Marshal Byron Turnquist. Byron, thank you for being with us today. I want to start off by going over some of what are the more common hazards that we see both indoors but particularly outdoors at this time of the year.
Well, right now we've got a lot of people out doing their spring cleanup in their yards. You want to be careful while you're climbing a ladder if you're trying to clean out your gutters or trim the brush away from your house as that grows. Real important, last fall, the township adopted a new ordinance which will allow recreational campfires, recreational fires. And the key thing to keep in mind there is that does not allow, the change in that ordinance does not allow burning of that yard waste that you're cleaning up this spring.
Right, and that does also come along with some other specific regulations as well. If you are going to have a fire in your yard, there are certain rules for distance and how that is attended to. Can we just have another brief overview of that for those that maybe have heard of that change in the ordinance recently on this program, but are now, or maybe perhaps are hearing for the first time as they get ready for those summer activities?
Yeah, we want people to be able to enjoy their yard, be able to enjoy the outside. The township ordinance provides allowing for a recreational fire in a commercial fire pit or a fire ring that's installed in your yard. It needs to be 15 feet away from combustibles on your yard or on your property. So that means away from sheds, fences, decks. You want to keep that away from anything that's combustible. And then it needs to be 25 feet away from anything combustible on your neighbor's yard. So there are some restrictions, but the restrictions are, all in an effort to try to keep everybody safe and happy and be able to enjoy a small recreational fire in your yard.
And we know that a recreational campfire is kind of a staple of the spring and the summer months in the state of Michigan, but that also comes with its own sort of hazards, and especially even if you're grilling or you're cooking, perhaps even on that fire itself. So as we get to that point of the year where we're seeing these campfires come up, more people going out and using their grills, what are some potential dangers that do pop up and are not necessarily common in our area, but can commonly be faced by somebody if they're not taking that preventative action?
Well, just like when you're cooking in your kitchen, we recommend that you never leave that unattended. It's the same thing when you're using your grill on the deck. Actually, we recommend you don't use your grill on the deck, but most people will. Keep it away from the house. Make sure it's away from vinyl siding. Make sure that it's away from any combustible furniture. And the important thing is to be prepared. Have a fire extinguisher handy and make sure you don't leave that grill unattended. Just when you think you're going to run inside and get the meat to throw on the grill, you get that telephone call. You forget that the grill's running, and it's just very important that if you do have that grill operating, to keep an eye on it. Stay out there with it.
Plenty of more helpful tips on their Facebook page at WB Fire Department. That's WB Fire Department on Facebook, or you can go to wbtownship.org and navigate to the fire department for their non-emergency number to ask any questions you may have as well. Joining us is the Fire Marshal for the West Bloomfield and Tri-City Fire Departments, Byron Turnquist, on today's edition of the Splash Live. This time of the year, it's also severe weather season. We expect to have plenty of thunderstorms in the coming months that could potentially knock out our power or disrupt power in our communities. And with that, people turn to their generators. But there's also some hazards that come along with running a generator as well. As people get ready to get those generators out during some of our severe weather portions of these upcoming seasons, what should they be keeping in mind?
Well, start off with the basics. Before the storm hits, get that generator out and make sure that it operates. Make sure that you can start it. I always hate to be without power and you go to fire up that generator for the first time in a long time and it doesn't work. But when you're using the generator, just like with a grill or a fireplace, you want to keep it away from anything combustible. Move it out away from your house. Make sure you keep it away from any doors or windows, any avenue that would allow the exhaust, or more importantly, carbon monoxide to enter your home. And then it's also a very helpful tip that when you refuel it, I know it's a little inconvenient, but when you refuel it, shut it down, let it cool for a while and before you put gasoline back in the generator. I hate to spill some gasoline on a hot exhaust pipe and create a fire and damage the generator and make the day even worse.
Yeah, definitely something to keep in mind as we get ready for potentially some power outages this time of the year with severe weather. Another thing we commonly see with that severe weather that comes in, high winds, thunderstorms, and the like, are downed debris that lands on our power lines or in our yards, or even some downed power lines that happen this time of the year as well. Really important, Byron, that people understand what to do if a power line goes down in their yard or in their neighborhood, they encounter that. What steps should people take if they encounter a downed power line?
First thing, stay away from it. Stay clear. If it's down in your backyard or on your side of your house, stay away from that down power line. Make sure that you're not touching any fences or sheds or any play structures that power line might be in contact with, because we don't want somebody to accidentally get electrocuted from a line that might be down 50, 75 feet away, but it's laying on that fence that's running alongside your driveway. So keep that in mind. Keep any pets from going in the yard anywhere near that power line as well. DTE has been working tirelessly trying to make the process better. It's never fun when we have power outages and storms. Everybody wants their power restored first, but they're working through the neighborhood or through the Metro Detroit area when a storm comes through. Just the other couple of weeks ago, power went out in my neighborhood. I've got the app on my phone for DTE. You can report it right on your phone. They'll send you text updates. That will do well, or they do a good job with that. And then it's always, you can call 911 and get us out there. We can tape the area off. We can enter that into their queue to get the downed wire replaced. Just because we're out there, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be faster, but we can help tape off an area to prevent people from going into that yard or going near the wire.
Yeah, that's another really good piece of advice. If you see that down power line, it's better to assume that nobody yet has called 911 about that than to not call 911 and potentially have other people in your area or traveling through that same area possibly encounter that power line. So on top of taking, of course, first and foremost, those safety precautions to prevent yourself from being potentially injured or killed by these downed power lines, to also take action to help others in the community as well. You can learn more information with helpful safety tips for the spring and summer seasons on the Facebook page of the West Bloomfield Fire Department at WB Fire Department. Joining us is Byron Turnquist, the Fire Marshal for the West Bloomfield and Tri-City Fire Departments, on today's edition of the Splash Live. Byron, before we let you go, anything else that we commonly see take place this time of the year, or other safety tips that really do come into play throughout the spring and the summer months that people in our communities should be keeping aware of?
Well, one thing, we see it in the wintertime when people are using their fireplaces, and we'll see it again in the spring and summer while people start using their grills. When you're cleaning out your grill or cleaning out your fireplace, make sure that you don't take those coals that may still be hot and put them in a plastic garbage can inside your garage or anywhere near your house. You really want to make sure that those coals are cool, not holding heat. They can hold heat for a couple days. Make sure they're cool. Put them in a metal can away from the house. Let them sit for even a little while longer before you throw them in the garbage can to dispose of them properly.
Yeah, some cool water, some shifting them around too also will help to kind of disperse the heat that they have on them also. All great advice from our friends at the West Bloomfield Fire Department. Byron, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Tyler. Have a great day.
Glad to have Byron on, and always good advice coming from our friends at the West Bloomfield Fire Department. You can learn more information on their Facebook page at WB Fire Department. And keep all that stuff in mind, Kevin, this time of the year. Really important to people keep safety in mind as they're having all these different activities outside, yard work, cooking, grilling, barbecuing, as you had mentioned earlier on. But also as they're getting back out and about with their pets, obedience, reinforcement, some training, making sure they have a fun but safe summer. And hey, you know what? A great way to do that is to kind of get that training in a group.
Yeah, absolutely, Tyler. As a matter of fact, it's good that you transitioned to that because joining Splash Live to give us a little bit more info on dog training services and even an event coming up for our community dogs. We have owner and trainer of Good Choices Dog Training and Services, Elaine Chan Whitlow, joining Splash Live to talk a little bit more about it. Thank you for joining us, Elaine.
Hi.
Yeah, so we have a very unique event coming up, which is number 3 Adventure Group 2024 Bloomer Park. That'll be Thursday, May 30th. Can you tell us a little bit what we can expect from this event specifically?
I started the adventure group a few years back, and this is actually our 3rd year going on strong in 2024. And basically what the adventure group does is that we're going to take the dog into real life, real scenario, real environment to train them and also socialize them and provide them exercise in a group setting. So when they come to join the group, we're going to first begin with a group walk so everybody can get to know each other and socialize and see all the doggies. And then after that, we're going to move right into the training. And for the one that we plan on Thursday, May 30th at Bloomer Park, it's going to be all level. So any dog, regardless of puppy or older dog, and different obedience level can join us as well. So they don't have to be really, really advanced. And basically, we're going to go through helping them with the basic command around different distraction area, like in the parks.
Right, correct.
We're also going to learn in a group situation, we're going to learn stay, and we're also going to review leave and command. There's so many things in the park that the dogs shouldn't get into in a sense, so we're going to help them with that as well.
Absolutely. And we actually spoke to West Bloomfield Parks, who just recently discussed the 6-foot leash ordinance that's going on that, just make sure your dog is within a certain reach so that, you don't have any mishaps with your dog. So just talk about how important dog training is for examples like that.
Yeah. And also sometimes, a lot of people don't realize that a lot of dogs being trained, you have to really respect that, personal space, personal bubble. Especially, I work with a lot of dogs that are reactive. They don't really appreciate dogs being off leash. There are certain areas that is designed to be off leash, for example, in the actual West Bloomfield Dog Park, but all the parks in West Bloomfield do have to obey the leash law and keep everybody safe, and so then the park becomes enjoyable for dogs of all types, all sizes, all shapes, regardless of their backgrounds and training levels. I think that's most important is safety, keeping everybody safe.
Exactly. Now, one last thing, another aspect of this event is the socialization between the dogs and everything. Just talk about the importance of dogs socializing with each other.
It's really important, I think, especially when the puppies are young, they need to see different dogs, different people. But socialization has to be done properly. It's not about just forcing the dog into a social setting that they're feeling uncomfortable. So if for example, in our adventure group, we do have some dogs that probably come from a background that are shy or they're a little bit in the terms of reactivity, they might be barking. And we kind of slowly integrate them into the group by having them be at a distance to begin with. And sometimes we might have the owner, using treats to help them feel more comfortable in those situations. And we start them up at a lower pace, but it's really important to bring them out and see different things. And sometimes socialization can be done just having a dog being out and about in the park and just be on leash and observe. They don't have to necessarily participate in a group right away, but they can kind of be, standing on the side, just kind of slowly observe. And the dog learn by observing, so they don't have to all be in everybody else's faces, which actually we don't promote it in our group either. We wanted the dog to have their own space, feeling comfortable, and being able to join at their own pace, so that we're not forcing them to be like right away you join us, you got to be social immediately. No, the whole purpose of the group is that it's a guided socialization by a trained professional.
Correct. And I'm glad you brought that perspective into the situation also. Last thing before we let you go, Elaine, just reiterate this event again. Do people have to RSVP? What are the deadline? Are there any fees? Just give that additional information right now, please.
For the one in Broomer Park, the group walk actually is going to be free of charge, so anybody can join and just come and check us out. But if you want to do the training part, there is a fee for $30. But if you bring on a second dog, it's going to be half the price. And if you want to RSVP, just basically text me directly onto my phone numbers, 248-790-3723, or you can go onto my Facebook page. Actually, this is a little schedule right here that shows the one that all the schedule coming up. So, and then in June, we're going to come back to the Nature Wood Preserve. So we're going to have one every month, pretty much, in West Bloomfield Park.
Absolutely. And we thank you so much for bringing that to our community, letting our dogs come together to socialize. Also, owner and trainer for Good Choices Dog Training and Services, Elaine Chan Whitlow. Thank you so much for joining Splash Live.
You guys are very welcome.
Absolutely.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
That's a whole nother perspective, Tyler, that we don't necessarily talk about. Now, we talk about our different events with people coming together and doing different things, but to have our dogs come together, to socialize our dogs in the community so that they know each other, it's a whole nother, perspective that I don't necessarily think about too often.
Yeah, they get to meet some of the dogs they'll see around the local area. They get to better understand what it's like to interact with different people, with different animals, and that helps them also in their training sort of get more acclimated, get calmer, and ultimately make both themselves and others safer and have a much more enjoyable time out at our parks and beyond. Speaking of our parks, if you're looking for some native plants to beautify your yard or indoors this spring and summer, the chance is now. West Bloomfield Park's opening their annual native plant sale just on Sunday. Those online sales underway through the 16th through Plants for Ecology. They'll donate a portion of the proceeds from this event to the Nature Room, which also helps to further the West Bloomfield Park's mission of environmental education, particularly for our kids. So if you want to buy some of those native plants, they go quickly, so you're going to want to get on the sale early on. wbparks.org/native-plant-sale. Best way to do it, wbparks.org, or find them on Facebook at WB Parks. Pickup will be on May 18th. That is Saturday from 9 a.m. until 12 noon at Marshbank Park. Kevin, we talked so much recently about native plants, about improving our environment with native plant life. Now it's a chance for people to execute on that new information they've received.
Yes, and I actually have to learn a little bit more about native plants myself. I'm just thinking native plants are just the things that just grow from your grass. You pick it up and you blow it and the little things float away, or the little dandelions, but those aren't native plants. And this is why we need to be educated. So yes, this is something that we all need to get a little bit more information on, because native plants are important to our ecosystem, like we discussed before.
They are. They help improve our local ecology, the soil quality, they prevent flooding, and so many other benefits that we've learned from our friends at West Bloomfield Parks over the years. You can learn more, get in contact with them, and even engage in this native plant sale right now. wbparks.org for plenty of more information. That is our time for today, Kevin. Plenty more to get to. We'll continue that throughout the rest of this week on CivicCenterTV.com, on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15, and on YouTube as well. Join us, like us, subscribe to our channels, all for free. And of course, you can always stay tuned on CivicCenterTV.com. For our entire team, Jake Schaff and Calvin Brown at Master Control, alongside Kevin McIntosh, I'm Tyler Kieft. Thank you for tuning in to The Splash Live.